Uploaded. If you're not following me yet on Twitter, at CoachPT91, they're added there. And also, if your parents are on Red Hawk parent page, I'm putting these links up there as well. Friday, I'll also bring a link for my YouTube channel. They're going to be posted there as well. Okay, so today's session is how do you develop a plan and an approach for taking and bettering your math score for ACT. A couple different things we're going to talk about today. First thing is make sure you have a plan. Okay, it's one thing to just show up and to take the reading, to take the science, to take and we talked about some approaches for how we do that. But math, it's very, very individualistic. It should be very, very specific to you based on what your best math score has been to this point in time. Now, a couple things to remember when we're talking about this, when we're making a plan for the math. First of all, you want to get yourself a goal. What is my goal score? Okay? There's a couple, 3 or 4 different benchmarks that I like to use when I'm talking to students. First one is, do you know where you're going to school? Let's say you're going to MTSU, you're interested in MTSU, Tennessee Tech, they were here today. And let's say that they are looking for a math score of a 21 so that you would not have to take a remedial course. A remedial course on college level is this. You have to pay the $650 for the class, and you get no credit for it. Basically, it sucks. Okay? It's like taking money, throwing it away. But they make you take that if your ACT is not high enough. Okay? If you have not hit a specific score yet. So maybe you're trying to get that score. All right? Or, that's one benchmark. Or, let's say you're going for a scholarship. And you need to have maybe 2 points higher. So we'll say +2 over what you got before. Okay? And you're someone whose score is a 17 to, let's say, 20. Something in that area. And you want to get 2 points higher, 3 points higher, something like that. All right? The next group I like to think of would be like a 24 to 26. And you're trying to get yours higher. We'll have an approach there. And let's say you're someone who is routinely a 29 or higher. Okay? 3 different approaches, 3 different statuses for people. Now, it doesn't mean that someone's better, smarter. Some people just are bad test takers. But knowing what you've done and having a goal toward what you want to get to will help you in your approach specifically with math. Okay, so right here, if you're a 17 to 20 person, you want to get 2 or 3 more points, whatever it is, for whatever reason. What I would suggest is this. Consider the math from this standpoint. 3 different parts. First 20, second 20, third 20 questions. Okay? Now, remember the math is broken down into basically 4 areas. Okay? You got your pre-algebra. Okay? You got your algebra. You got your algebra 2. You got your geometry. Trigonometry, okay? Those 4 areas. Now we got the approach of 20-20-20, which I work with a timing thought. Okay, if I can increase my time available to answer questions that I can do better on, that's a good thing. But I have to think about these 4 areas in light of this 20-20-20. Now, each test is broken down a little bit differently. For the most part, though, you're looking at this first 20 being a combination of pre-algebra and algebra. Okay? Typically, those first 20 are what you would consider to be your easier math questions. Okay? Now, from my standpoint, when I'm in a session where I'm just teaching 1 or 2 students, I look them down and say, listen, on those 20, try not to use your calculator at all. I'll give you an example. I had a young lady in lunch just last period sitting beside me. She was trying to divide this. And the first thing she did was reach for a calculator. Now, it's nothing against her. I said, do you know your multiplication table? She's like, absolutely. But why did she reach for a calculator? Because she's always reached for a calculator. Okay? Somebody who thinks they know how to teach math stuck a calculator in her hand when she was a 3rd grader, said, this is what you do. We obviously just divide both numbers by 3 and you get x equals 3. Okay? But she didn't think to do that. She thought, oh, I got this. I got to use a calculator. So what you want to try to do is take this first 20 or this pre-algebra algebra group and you want to approach it from a mental standpoint. Try to do it without a calculator. Why? Believe it or not, it saves your time. Okay, it saves you time. If you can automatically get to a place where you say, let's say you got 102 divided by 4, and you look at it, well, I know 4 quarters go into $1. Okay, it's going to be a little bit more than 25. Okay, you see how I did that? All right, right there. So mental math, especially pre-algebra and algebra. Okay? Last resort for calculator. That's basically what we're saying. Last resort. All right? Now, if you're not great at that mental math, you got 4 weeks. Practice a little bit every day. All right? For instance, what I do with my freshmen, I teach all freshmen this year, 2 days a week. 2 days a week. Today they did. They wrote their multiplication tables. Is it something to have busy work for them to do? No. Almost to a person, they raise their hand, they say, I'm more confident in math. I'm like, why? So I'm better at my multiplication than I was 7 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago. It's not anything hard. It's just something we're not used to doing. Okay, so anyway, they've got the opportunity to get a little bit better. But pre-algebra, algebra, try to work that in a mental way. All right, you guys are 17 to 20s. You want to take that first 20 right there. That needs to be your benchmark. That needs to be where you're making your money. Okay? I want to get 90% of these right. You want to get 18 out of 20. Why? It's the easier questions. They're the ones that should make a lot more sense to you. If you haven't had trigonometry, don't worry about the trig questions. You're going to be like, and you start pushing buttons on calculator, everything, or maybe try to work back. Look, don't waste your time doing that. Focus on the things that you're more recognizable with. Okay? Anybody have any question about that? Pre-algebra, algebra, first 20 questions. Try to work them in a way where you can do it without a calculator. Mental math. All right. This second 20 right here. Okay? Typically, this is a combination of Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. You're not going to have a lot of super easy, 6 plus 4 is 10 type problems. And not that they're going to do that. I don't mean that. But y'all know what I'm saying. So you got Algebra 1, Algebra 2 type questions right here. This is where you're going to need to come back to your memory some really cool things that everybody remembers, but you may have just put it in the back of your mind. A squared plus B squared equals
C squared.
See, y'all know it. All right? So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. But that's an application we use in Algebra 2, we use in geometry. This is where you start to see this stuff. You start to see this stuff right here as well. Area. Okay, area of a rectangle. Area equals base times height. Okay, area of a circle, pi r squared. Okay, know and understand that this stuff is coming into play now. That doesn't mean they won't stick one of them up there in the first 20, but typically they tend to put that stuff right here in the middle and then branch it even down here to the third. So, we got Algebra 1, Algebra 2 right there. They're coming together in that second 20. Now, let's just talk bare bones here. If you're a person that is a 17 to 20 person ACT, let's say I get 30 out of the first 40. Okay, let's say you got 18 out of the first 20 correct. And let's say you got 12 out of the next 20 correct. That's not very good, that's 60%. But let's say you got that, and you get 30 out of the first 40 correct. And you get 0 out of the last 20 correct. Altogether, that's a 30 out of 60. That's 18 right there on the ACT, on the math portion. 50% of 36 is 18. All right? And you got 0 correct down there. You basically put C on every single one of these, you're going to get 4 correct. You know what I mean? All right? But if you're a person that's a 17 to 20 person, I would focus all of my energy on those first 40 questions. Okay? That way you're not getting bogged down by trigonometry. Okay? You're not getting caught up in formulas and functions and stuff like that maybe you didn't remember because you had a bad teacher or that's what you think you had or whatever. Okay? So focus on those first 40. Pick up some extra points down here in the last 20. Let's say, for instance, you did pretty good on this. Let's say you got a 90 here and you got a 75 here. That's going to be 15. Okay? Automatically, that's going to be 33 out of 40. We're getting to a decent range here. And let's say you pick up 5 of these down here. 38 out of 40. 38 out of 60. Okay? Numerically, you're probably going to be in a range of about a 22 or 23. So do y'all see how focusing on this right here can help you if you're a 17 to 20 ACT person? Yeah, that makes sense? Okay, so if we put our energies right there. Now let's talk timing real quickly on that. So So when I mean timing, you basically have a minute per problem for the math. But if you're a person that is going to focus on the first 40 minutes, let me break it into parts again. I got 20, 20, and I got 20. Now this is if you're a person that is medium, you're in that 17 to 20 range, and you're just wanting to get a few more points for whatever reason. Okay, right here, I would take 1 minute per problem on those 20. On the second 20, minute and 30 seconds per problem. This is totally backwards compared to what most teachers tell you. Most teachers tell you 30 seconds here, a minute and a half here. Again, we're not worried about these down here if you're a 17 to 20 person. We're worried about these two right here. Pre-algebra, algebra 1, and algebra 2. That's where you spent most of your time in high school anyway. Okay? So a minute here, a minute and a half here. So that's 20 minutes on these, 30 minutes on these. I got 10 minutes left over. Okay? So it's going to be half a minute here per problem. Okay? But again, we're not as focused on this stuff down here. We're focused on doing the best that we can right here and bumping that score up. That's a plan for approaching this. Okay, timing-wise, that's what we're looking at. Does anybody have a question about that? If you need to take a picture of it, you can. If you're not taking notes, I don't mind. The video will be up later tonight. Okay, so if you're a person who's like 24 to 26, something like that, and you're on that verge of getting scholarships, okay, so we got 24 to 26. All right, so my first 20, and let me go back here. We got pre, we got algebra, we got algebra 2, and we got geo and trig. We'll just say geo and leave it at that. No, never mind, I'll put it. All right, 20, 20. Out to the side on the left, I'm going to put timings, okay? I only have 6 minutes or so left, so I'm going to put your timings on this. So if you're 24 to 26 on the ACT right now, here's what I would suggest. I would suggest 45 seconds per problem right here. Okay? This is still easy stuff. You're going to make a lot of points there. You're going to be doing good. Okay? Right here, I go about a minute and 15 seconds. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have a timer there. You know, all right, go. All right, can't do this one anymore. That's not what I'm saying. But when you practice, what I'm saying is take the first 10 and then you give yourself a timer. And, you know, what would 45 seconds be for 10 problems? 450 seconds, and we divide it by 60. And so it's going to be just under 8 minutes, basically 7.5 minutes. Okay? That's what you're looking at. So, all right, 45 seconds, a minute and 15 seconds. And then this right here, you're going to be at a minute. Okay? We're going to emphasize right here and right here. Okay, we think you can do this a little bit quicker. Okay, again, mentally, you're going to have the mental approach to this. No calculator. Down here, you remember some of this stuff pretty good, the geometry and the trig. You want to spend a little bit more time on it than maybe someone who has 17, 18, something like that. Your meat is going to be right there. Okay? You definitely want to get as many of these as you possibly can. But watch, 36 out of 40. That's 90%. Okay? Bare bones right there, that gives you a 36 out of 60 if I get nothing right on the rest of them. You with me? What if I get 10 of these? That's going to be a 46 out of 60. 75%. What is 75% of 36? Anybody? 27. Okay? Right there, you've gone up a point or 2 or 3. But have a plan. 45 seconds, a minute 15, a minute. Okay? When you're preparing for this, I would spend less time practicing these problems other than just getting the timing. I would focus more right here on those. And especially these right here. Algebra 2 and geometry. Okay? Questions on that? 24 to 26 people. I may not hit your exact score here. Y'all please understand, I'm just trying to hit a range. Anybody questions? All right, so leave it 29 plus. Now I'll hit this pretty quickly. Most of y'all, if you got 29 or more in your ACT, you know